Another huge week of trades coming up in KFC SuperCoach. Let's look at who to buy, hold and sell for round 8. KFC SuperCoaches are all looking for cash, and the number one way to get it is to trade in Alex Chincotta from Carlton. He's only 102,000. He's a defence mid DPP, and he scored really well in his first 2 games, and he's about to rocket up in price if he gets picked to play his 3rd game this week, which I'm pretty sure he will the way he's been going. So absolutely no-brainer to pick him up. He's got a break-even of -97, which means he's going to make a heap of money, and even better than that, the way the rookies are going at the moment, I think we can safely put him on the field and get a good score on Friday night. The only reason you wouldn't be getting Chincotta this week is if you already got him last week, and if you're in that situation and you need to find a downgrade to make some money, I think Sam Simpson at the Cats is the next best bet. He's a little bit more expensive, slightly elevated price because he's been around for a little while, but that is a plus. He's a mature age player. The Cats know what he can do. We know what he can do. A few years ago, he was actually a pretty handy rookie pick for us in KFC SuperCoach, and I think he can be again. We just need him to stay in the team down there at Geelong. He's kicked 2 goals in each of his 2 games this year, so he's fulfilling a pretty important role for Chris Scott. Hopefully he keeps that going and can make us some cash. If those rookies can help you build a bank, you can go shopping, and I think defence is the place to look this week in terms of value. With the rookies not quite getting as much money as what we might like, I don't think we can afford to be aiming for the $650,000 players as much as we would love to get them, but there's some really good value in the $500,000 range. James Sicily's come down a lot. Jack Sinclair's still at a really good price, but the one I really like is Luke Ryan, flying under the radar a bit at the Dockers. That's despite averaging 121 points a game. He's the 3rd ranked defender in KFC SuperCoach this year. He's not in that many teams, but he's only scored under 100 once, and that was a 93. So I think at 573,000, that's still fantastic value. He's got a really handy buy in round 12 too, which we'll be talking about that more in the next few weeks, but that could come in really handy. Who are we holding this week? Now, the temptation with the rookies is to trade out the guys who have made the most money because they can get you to the better players. But someone like a Will Ashcroft, I wouldn't be getting rid of him. Even Oscar Baker on the bench is a handy, safe backup option, which we really need at the moment. There's not many of them around. And in that category, I would definitely put CONOR McKenna. He was in my trade plans coming into this week, but now I think I have to hold him. Scored a 70 last week. He's got more money to make. And more importantly, Daniel Rich has an injury at Brisbane, which only enhances his role up there. So he's just a really safe on-field scorer. Maybe you can loop him off the bench, but he's not the sort of guy you want to be trading out and relying on zeros or much more flimsy options when it comes to bench rookies. This is not so much a hold as a hold fire. I can actually afford Clayton Oliver this week, and why wouldn't I get one of the top scoring midfielders in the game in my team? I think, though, it might actually not be the right move, just because cash is a real issue in KFC SuperCoach this year with those rookies starting to dry up, and if I spend all my bank on Oliver, I think I'm going to have nothing left to fill the rest of my team. So I think smarter move is to go for some value. If you can get someone like Sicily or Sinclair or Ryan for 150 grand cheaper, you're going to get someone who's going to score nearly as many points, leave a lot more money in the bank to go and make the next upgrade. Who are we selling this week? Will Setterfield has been on the nose for a couple of weeks. He hasn't put up the scores that he did early in the year for quite a while, averaging 77 in his past 5 and just 51 points last week against the Cats. So not getting it done for us in the midfield, and that value, we may as well use it. 428k while it's there. That can get us up to a top liner. And he's starting to lose money. Lost a bit last week, and he'll lose more this week unless he can put up a really big score, which we haven't seen for a while. So I think Will Setterfield, time to go. There are quite a few rookies who have reached their price ceiling and are ready to trade in. One tip would just be to look at your bench after you've made your trades and make sure you've still got some decent backup there. So you don't want to be getting rid of all of that, but one player I think we can safely get rid of is Matthias Philippou. Showed some fantastic flashes of brilliance in the first 7 rounds, but his scores the last couple of weeks, 39 and 20, is not really doing much for us in KFC SuperCoach. He actually lost money last week, about $10,000, and he could lose a lot more if he keeps putting up scores like that. So cash in the $251,000 while we can. Maybe downgrade him to a Chincotta or a Simpson and use that money to go shopping.